Suppose my boss comes down the hall and says, I need you to get some numbers together for me. I know it's short notice, but do what you can. The first thing I'm going to do is pull up the last report that I created for them. The problem is, however, that this report is no longer up to date. Fortunately, because I built it with BizInsight, all I need to do to remedy that problem is update it. When I select the current month and year from the drop-down menu, the report automatically refreshes. Notice that the title now reads 1-month income statement for the month ended December 2016. I have my December 2016 numbers in front of me. The report is ready to go. I ship it off. The boss is going to get this report, and the first thing that they are most likely going to say is, wow, this was fast. Are these numbers correct? And I'm going to respond, absolutely. These numbers are coming directly from our database, so these are our most current numbers. They might then say, I didn't realize that you could get these out so quickly. Could I get a 3-month statement? And my answer is going to be yes. Then I'm going to go back to my desk and bring this report up again, and this time I'm going to change the month to October. And then highlight that column and drag it across to make 3 columns. My report title now reads 3-month trending income statement for the quarter ended December 2016. I have 3 months of data in front of me. This report is ready to go. I ship it off. If they had asked for 12 months, still not a problem. All I would do is change the month to January and highlight that column, and instead of dragging it 3 months, I would drag it across to include 12 columns. Notice now that my title has been updated to read 12-month trending income statement for the year ended 2016. I have 12 months of data in front of me. This report is ready to go. I ship it off. I just went from an old 1-month report to a current month-ended report to a current quarter-ended report to a current year-ended report, all in a matter of seconds with just a few mouse clicks. Now that they have the report, the next thing they might say is something like, this looks really good. It'd be great if we had last year's numbers for comparison as well. Is that possible? And my answer is going to be, once again, absolutely. All you have to do is go to the year parameter and select the value that you want from the drop-down list. In this case, 2015. Once they do that, notice that the report updates, and now they have a historical version of this report. I can give them access to as many years as are available in my ERP system. They may also say something like, our fiscal year goes from September to August. Would it be possible to get a copy of this report that matches our fiscal year? With other reporting applications, crossing over years would be difficult because of the way that they access the data on the back end. But with BizInsight and Excel, it's seamless. Notice that when I change the first month to September, the report immediately updates and now goes from September of 2015 to August of 2016. I can change the month and year to whatever values I need to, and the report will update automatically. Now that the report is set up the way that the user wants it, the next thing that they will do is look over the values and may ask something like, can you get me the detail for my revenue hardware account for February of 2016? And my answer is going to be, you already have it. All you have to do is right-click on the value that you want the detail for and go down to BizInsight Drill Down and select Table from the pop-up menu. When they do that, they're going to get the line item detail from the database for that value. Some people like pivot tables. BizInsight accommodates that as well. Simply open the drill down menu as before, but instead of selecting Table, select Pivot Table, and the detail will come up in the pivot table format. Notice that when I click on the pivot table, my field editor comes up, and now I can do all the things that users like to do with pivot tables. For instance, I can clear out these fields, and then select GL account number as my row header, and then segment 2 as my column header. Notice that when I do that, I can set up the pivot table to look exactly the way that I want it to, while still having the ability to double-click any of these values and get the line item detail from the database. So I can go from my report to a list, or from my report to a pivot table to a list, but either way, I can give my user the ability to move around very quickly in that report. Suppose I get a request for a report and the user specifies that they only want to see the data for their own division and not the rest of the company. Notice that I can change the year and the report will update for me. But I've also added an additional parameter for division. When I select a specific value in the division parameter, the report updates to show only the numbers for that division. And when I drill down, notice that the drill down detail is filtered to match. So I've just customized this report from top to bottom for that user. Additionally, I can see any year for each division, and likewise I can see any division for each year. If I have 3 years worth of data and 5 different values for division, that's 15 different combinations that I can create for this report. In the past, what I would have to do is create a separate report for each combination. Then I would have to manage each version of that report, and when I wanted to send them out, I would have to update each one before I could do that. With BizInsight, all I have to do is create the report once and add the filters that I want to apply to it. And whenever I want a specific version of this report, I simply select the combination of filters and the report will automatically refresh with matching data. With BizBroadcast, I can automate that process so that those versions are automatically created on the fly without me having to do anything. I just tell BizBroadcast which report I want to send and what filters to use, and it will do the rest. The last thing that I want to make note of is that while I have values for each of my individual divisions, I also have a value that says all. I can do individualized versions of this report, or I can do a consolidated version of the report. And I can do that for any entities that I have in my database, whether it's multi-company, multi-department, division, cost centers, whatever. I'm able to create an individual version of the report or a consolidated version. This budget versus actual report is a great example of the kinds of reports that can be built in Excel when data access is no longer a barrier. I needed a report that would allow me to see my budget numbers for the year, but then as the year progresses, replace those budget numbers with actuals. Notice that I have total columns for my actuals as well as my budget numbers and a final column for percentage of goal. As I change the month, the actuals total is cumulative so that I can see just exactly where we are with respect to our goal anytime during the year. Using the previous year's numbers allows me to easily make year-over-year comparisons as well.